TV screens. It'll dominate the schedules. Tonight, 6:50, Strictly also has a brand new home. The new series is being broadcast live from the Elstree studios in Hertfordshire.
Joining us on the phone just now is the Managing Director of Elstree Studios, Roger Morris. Roger, thank you very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
So why has Strictly come to Elstree? What makes Elstree the right choice?
Well, we've been talking with Strictly for some time. Obviously, the show's got bigger and bigger and more successful, and they wanted a bigger space for it to take place in, and we have the ideal studio for them. And it's set up. It's done a lot of light entertainment shows, very successful shows. We also do Dancing on Ice from the same stages, and they were very pleased to come here. Obviously, greatly influenced by the fact that Television Centre has temporarily closed while it's being refurbished.
And all of this is actually very good news for Elstree. Then you've also got Pointless has moved in as well, and Strictly's on the George Lucas stage. Is that right?
It is, yeah. The two George Lucas stages. There's stage 1 and 2. We've got Paddington Bear taking place, a feature film in stage 2, and obviously Strictly in stage 1. So,
and you've still got Roger, Celebrity Big Brother as well.
We do. In fact, Big Brother, we're having a live celebrity eviction the same night as Strictly were recording the other day. So it was a very busy place.
Has anyone like Vanessa Feltz come up to you in the corridor and attacked you with a feather boa yet?
She hasn't. We saw them all arriving, and they all look very glamorous. Fantastic. I think it's going to be a great show this weekend. They look great. It actually was a great theatrical event, the whole thing. Really exciting. Great audience, too.
And the new stage actually means that you can fit more audience in than the BBC actually could. Is that right?
It does indeed. They can get more audience. They've got more space for the dancers. They've got a higher lighting rig so they can light it differently and better. And I think they've got 2 tiers of audience level, which they didn't have at the Beeb. I think I'm right there, which means they can get a lot more people in.
Roger, how do you squeeze all these productions in? You've got so much going on at Elstree.
We do. We're probably the busiest studio in the UK at the moment. It's quite a logistics exercise, actually. It is. I must admit, it is a logistics. It's very enjoyable. It's like a theatre. We're like a big theatre where we've got a continuous performance all the time.
How careful are you that the right audience goes to the right show? Because if the Strictly audience ends up on Celebrity Big Brother and vice versa, there could be trouble.
Yeah, I think you can spot the difference.
The Strictly audience have an IQ.
Well, there's a fashion element in it as well. There's a difference in fashion, there's a difference in age group. But I must say the Strictly audience come along very elegantly dressed as well.
I bet they do. Roger, does it annoy you, the number of people who say to you, "Oh, Roger, you're the Managing Director of Elstree Studios, get us a ticket for Strictly"? That must really annoy you.
It doesn't annoy me, but it bemuses me because I know they've got like a waiting list of I think about 1.5 million or something like that.
Roger, have you got any tickets for Strictly? I knew that was coming.
Funny you should say that. I did actually get asked the other night by somebody who's very well known, and I put them in touch with BBC. Well, very well known. I put them in touch with BBC audience handling, who are looking after all that. But it is difficult because obviously it's such a popular show.
Roger and I almost ended up on a show together.
Really? Which show was this, Roger?
Roger was giving me a tour of the studios, and we were walking down the corridor, and Pointless had only just moved in. And I think a very enthusiastic assistant producer came up to us and asked us if we were there to be on the show. And Roger said, I'm the managing director. And he said, of what?
I mean, it is actually interesting. You wander around the site, and we've got so many different things going on and different shows. And it can get very complicated, and you do have to show people. They're all the studios. They're in a row. There's a row of studios. They're all doing different things, and you've got different activities going on each one. And it would be very easy to get mixed up, I'm sure. But the interesting is, you walk down the corridor and you look in the dressing room. You think, oh, there's Michael Caine having his makeup put in on that one, and there's actually Vanessa Feltz in the next one.
Forget about her. Yeah, Fiona Fullerton, Roger.
Yeah,
Fiona Fullerton. She's still got it.
She has for me, but
and for me, big boy.
Why didn't you ask Roger if he's got the key to Fiona's dressing room? You might.
Roger, does Fiona need any help in her dressing room?
Well, I did volunteer. I said,
What about Susanna Reid? Either or, I'm not.
Yes, Susanna Reid. They're all they actually all look fantastic. They arrived and they all look fantastic. They all were wonderful. They look great.
Well, we wish Elstree every success with hosting Strictly for at least the next few years to come. Best of luck. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Roger.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Bye-bye.
So it comes down to this. Who will win Strictly? Fiona Fullerton or Susanna Reid?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC